Hey, how you doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. And today, Juno and I are doing a video. She's determined to get into this video, everybody. She is determined. And I see you. Okay. Come up here. You can get in the video. No, you just want to get Papa hugs, huh? Okay. You gotta get down, sweetie. Let Papa do this video. But anyway, back to the video. I noticed that it's been getting crazy out there in Washington. I hope things simmer down and we can get on with our business and move on. I'm tired of all the drama. I'm just ready to move on. But anyway, back to the video. What we got to talk about today. Got an unboxing. As you can see, it was started to be unboxed, but I had a blooper, so I'm doing this over again. This is a package. It came from eBay. And the eBay seller's name is Atlantic Knife. Atlantic Knife. And this is one that I've been wanting to try out for a long time. And I never bought it when it first came out and did any videos on it because I already had 3 of the original models, the other models. And what we're talking about today is the SR1 Lite. And that's what we're doing the video on today. Have a little chat about it. And I've always wanted to get one of these and try it out, but I never did because I had 3 of the G10 and S35VN models already with the same blade, with the Tonto saber ground. The one I like the best is the saber ground Tonto with the chisel tip. With the 4.8 millimeter blade thickness and with the stainless steel liners that encompass the pivot and the triad locking parts. The backspacer on mine is a G10 also. It's a G10 backspacer, not aluminum backspacer. So the handle scales are G10, the backspacer's G10, and it has partial stainless steel liners on both sides that encompass the pivot and the triad locking parts in the lock bar. With the 4.8 millimeter blade stock. I'll just call it 5 millimeter. Let's read the specs on this one. Blade length 4 inches. Overall length 9 3/8 of an inch. Steel 8CR13 MOV. Weight 6.9 ounces. Handle Grivex. Blade thickness 4.8 millimeters. Exactly just like mine. So it's the exact same specs as my G10 versions. And the only reason, that's the reason why I never get one of these, because I already had 3 of the original ones, and I felt like this would just be like, getting the same thing again. Even though it is in a different steel and it's made with different materials, it's basically still the same knife. But anyway, doing the unboxing today, the one that opened the package too earlier, is my SOG Pendleton XR. This has become just as fidgety as the Vision XR. I just want to let you all know that when I sent the original ones I had of these back, this is the one that says Stiletto on it. Just to let you know I'm carrying the one that was meant for me. Because I got 2 of these, one to collect and one to carry, and the one to carry is the one that says Stiletto. I've been carrying this, I don't know, every day just about for the last month. And I play with it every day, and it's never hit the back spacer. And this one, the thumb stud, the original one, I couldn't open it with the thumb studs. This one, it's like, I can open it easy with the thumb studs, or just pull them down on the lock bar. Right, so that's what we want to call it, the lock bar locking mechanism, and open up. And I can do it one finger left side, or just like a Benchmade, or right side with my thumb, just like a Benchmade. Or I could use two fingers, just like a Benchmade. Plus, what Benchmade doesn't have is the flipper. It's one awesome little blade. This one and the Vision XR, the Pendleton and the Vision XRs, to me, are awesome. And when I first got this one, because it was hitting the backspacer, I didn't like it, and I couldn't open it with the thumb studs. But this one, you know, I don't know if that was the first run of these or what, but the two that SOG sent to me, Studies and Observations group, are perfect. These are perfect. So if you got one where it hits the backspacer, I would contact SOG and have them give you a good one, because they obviously have good ones. This absolutely works perfectly. Works perfectly. And I absolutely love it. It's a cool little knife. I mean, this is really it's just a cool little knife. It's like my style. It's, you know, I don't know. It's like a little boot knife or a stiletto or whatever you want to call it. I think it's more like a boot knife. Sort of like the counterpoints. I'd put in that sort of category. Like the counterpoint, the cold steel counterpoints, or a Russian Mikov. I'm not Russian, but Czechoslovakian Mikov. Absolutely love it. It's like the same size as a Mikov and a counterpoint. A little bit smaller, because I think those have 4-inch blades. And this one's like a 3.6 or 3 3 3/4, a little bit almost 3 3/4 inch blade, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I'm telling you guys good facts. Yeah, 3 3/4. If you measure it from the handle scale to the blade tip, it's exactly 3 3/4 of an inch. So it's almost 4 inches. Now if you measure from this part, from where the blade starts, where the grind starts, it's 3.5 inches. Is that right? 3.5 inches. Now if you go to the plastic, I mean not the plastic, but the handle scale. 3 3/4. It's a sweet blade. It's absolutely sweet. And I absolutely love it, and I would absolutely highly recommend this one. It's different because it looks like a folding dagger. And even though this isn't sharpened, it is fairly edgy, sort of. Feels like a dull edge. Feels like about like a bread knife or something. It's about like that. I would highly recommend it. And I like the way that the opposite side of the tip is. It's pushing the limits of being a dagger in that, I think. Absolutely love it. The SOG Pendleton. But anyway, I'm getting all into the SOG, but you know that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the SR1. All right, let's unbox this one. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Perfectly centered. And this is coming from Atlantic Knife. I don't know if I mentioned it. I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not. Atlantic Knife is the eBay seller. And it's not the first thing I bought from them. It looks like it still has a G10 backspacer. So it has the exact same backspacer. It doesn't look like a Grivery backspacer. It looks like G10 to me. The handle scales are Grivery. I'm just checking out to see how it's constructed. It looks like it's constructed the exact same way. The only difference is that they're just using Grivex. This is a solid piece of Grivex. It's not cut out or anything. It's just a solid piece of Grivex. It doesn't flex either. So it's nice and strong. Feels really good in hand. I hate to say it, but this sort of feels better than the G10 one in my hand. Maybe it's just because I like the colors better. Because I like the black handle scales. And on my Luzon, it has the same kind of steel, that cold steel. That's one thing that's good about cold steel, is that they're consistent on their steels and their tempering and stuff like that. So even when they use the less expensive steels, like this is 8CR, Chinese steel, it's still going to be like the best 8CR can be. So even though this is 8CR, you know, whenever I get a cold steel knife, you know, that's one thing I'm going to miss about cold steel. I hope they keep on making things like that, where they're consistent with their heat treats and with their blade edges and everything like that. They stay consistent. Because they do have good, their knives always have good edges. That's how I can always, you know, it's one of the main ways I could tell if something's a copy or a fake, because a copy or a fake won't look right. It won't look like a cold steel knife. It won't have a good blade edge. Cold steel knives always have good blade edges. And this one's perfect. It's really a good looking knife too. I like the way it looks. And, you know, I hate to say it, but, you know, looks are important to me. When it comes to, ooh, that's so smooth. Oh, wow, this is smooth. None of my G10 ones, I had 3 of the G10 ones were this smooth when I first got it. I had to oil them and adjust them and give them the way I wanted them to be. This one's smooth right off the bat. It doesn't feel like it needs anything. Listen to it. That's how you can always tell when you got a good one. When there's, listen, tell me if you can hear anything. I'm depressing the lock bar. Lots of cold steels, when you depress the lock bar, you hear like a little popping sound or a little click. It's because the grinds aren't just right for where the triad lock mechanism engages on the blade tang. Last time's a little bit rough. This one's perfect. Let me make sure it's locking up tight. Oh yeah, no wobble, no movement or nothing. So the construction of this one is outstanding. It's better than most cold steels. Let me see if I can find one with the blade tick so you can understand what I'm talking about. And I got one in my box that has probably a little bit of blade tick. Y'all know my frenzy. Now listen. That's what I'm talking about. See how smooth this one is? You guys get what I'm talking about now? That SR1 is really smooth. This is a $59 knife. I paid 59 bucks for this. That's a $59 knife, and it is super smooth. You know what? I might have to go get another one. You know, I like to have two whenever I see something I like. I might have to get another one of these. This is a really nice knife. I wish I'd have gotten one earlier now. Absolutely love it. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to put this one in my EDC drawer. Something's going to get kicked out the EDC drawer, because this one's going to take its place. That is super smooth. Oh yeah, these are really nice. These are super nice, people. These are super nice. Super nice. Absolutely love it. Super nice. I like this one. I really like this one. I really like that one. I really like that one. Okay. And you know what? That's the way it often is for me. You know, lots of times the least expensive cold steels are some of my, always lots of times are my favorites. I know the expensive ones that use the better steels and the better handle scale materials and stuff like that. But sometimes the best cold steels, like like the Voyagers, I never got a Voyager that was bad. All the Voyagers I've ever had were awesome. And it's like I don't know what it is, but it seems like the ones that don't cost as much, the quality control or something is better. I don't know what it is. But this one's perfect. I mean, perfect. I mean, like really perfect. It looks perfect. All the blade grinds and everything on it are perfect and even. The edge looks right. All the finishes there's nothing wrong with any blemishes or any finishing parts. And there's no blemishes on it anywhere. I love the handle scales. The handle scales are awesome on this. I mean, they got just the right amount of texture, so you have a good grip, and they don't have no weird looking patterns or anything, so that, it looks more like G10, even though I know it's Grivex. It doesn't look like Grivex. It looks more like a G10 handle scale, even though I know what it is. The back spacer looks right. I mean, I could tell it's a G10 back spacer. All the finishes and everything are just perfect on this. Everything's flush. I think this is one of the better made cold steels I've gotten in a while. And all the grinds on the inside of it, everything looks right. The tang is polished. That's why it's so smooth. Is it polished in here? It's even polished in the triad lock bar portion of the knife. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I would highly recommend these. I think everybody should go out and get these. I think anybody who likes the heavy duty Tonto blades, if you like Voyagers, you'd like this one. But see, like in this one, you can see the grinds a little bit. It's not bad, but you can just you know that there was a machining there. On this one, you can't see the grinds. It's like it's either been polished or they used a better machine to make it. One or the other. Everything looks perfect on this one. got a big old giant stop pin too. So you know this knife is strong. Andrew Demko said the thing that makes triad locks the strongest, the knives, the folding knives are going to have the strongest triad locks are the ones with the thick blade stocks. That's why they put this one, I bet you, up against the deadbolt, the Clever Girl deadbolt. Because I bet you lots of the other ones weren't able to beat the deadbolt. This is a beautiful knife, and the weight is right on it too. It feels good in hand. Let me see how much it weighs. Where they said it was supposed to weigh 6.9 ounces. Is that what it said on the box? 6.9 ounces. 6.8. I highly recommend these. And I know I have, you know, in my years of collecting knives and stuff, I sort of have become a little bit of a knife snob. I mean, not a knife snob, but a steel snob. Because I tend not to like the knives with Chinese steels. But I know cold steel. Cold steel used to do Oz 8 right. And I know, and they say 8CR is pretty much like the equivalent to Oz 8. The Chinese equivalent to Oz 8. And I've used the Luazon, and it holds the edge nice. You know, and I'd say it holds the edge better than Oz 8. I wish they would have made this out of the Japanese Oz 10 though. Because that'd make this, oh man, that'd make this knife outstanding if it was Oz 10. But you know, with the 8CR though, it's nice too though, you know, because then they could make it for $59. I don't know, this might be the best $59 knife that there is. I don't think there's a better, stronger, more reliable knife for $59 than this one. This would even beat out my large size Voyager, because I know it's stronger than the Voyager. The Voyagers are known to hold up to like 450 pounds. The SR1s, we don't know what their limit is. We've never seen one break. The SR1 is more like a 4 Max. It's like a super strong cold steel knife. And I think this blade type is going to be stronger than a 4 Max blade, because it's saber ground, 4.8 millimeter thick, and the 4 Max blade is 4.8 millimeters thick, also has the same thickness, but the grind, the flat grind is a lot higher on it. This one's just like a big bar of steel. Now this one's heavy duty. I think that's heavy duty. I think that's a super heavy duty blade. And it's beautiful. Look at the grinds on it. Everything's beautiful about this knife. I'm very impressed with this knife. I want another one. I'm going to get another one to add to my collection. I'll get one to collect, and this one's going to go in my drawer. Absolutely really like this knife. Absolutely in love with this one. It's just, right out the box, it's like perfect. And it was a sealed box, so I know it wasn't used. Came from Atlantic Knife. Person I know that sells brand new stuff. They were authorized cold steel dealer that sells on eBay. And he sold it for the right price, what they're going for, $59. $59. I think that's the best bang for your buck right there for $59. This one and the cold steel Voyager large, the large Voyager, you know, one has a hollow ground blade with a 3.5 millimeter blade stock, and the Voyager has full heat treated liners, aluminum heat 6061 aluminum heat treated liners, and with the Grivex handle scales. The liners are embedded into the scales, so you don't see them. And it has a Grivex backspacer. with Oz 10, Japanese Oz 10 steel, and a 3.5mm blade that's hollow ground with the chisel tip. And what I mean by hollow ground, this part right here, the blade is hollow ground, and this is a chisel tip. This one is saber ground because it's not a full flat ground. It doesn't come all the way up to this blade spine. That'd be a full flat ground if it came all the way up to the blade spine. Like this, it's almost like, it's not quite midway. It's a little bit above midway. It's like 3/4 of the way up. The width of the blade is a full flat ground. I mean, it's a flat grain. That is a saber grain, which is good for combat knives because it makes the blade really strong. Whereas a hollow grind is better for, like, if you're going to use your knife for a lot of cutting chores and stuff. To me, a hollow grind is better for that because they resharpen better. Because this one, you're going to only be able to sharpen it so far before the blade stock starts getting really thick behind the edge. Whereas on a hollow grind, you don't have that issue. You can sharpen that thing longer. I've never taken one down that far though, but so I don't really have that issue anyway with a hollow grind or a saber grind. And it's like a lot of you guys know, I like my knives for like self-defense purposes. I never have to use it for that, but if I do, I want something that's going to be a real weapon tool, a weaponized tool or whatever. I don't want something that's posing as a weapon or a tool to defend myself. I want something that is a weapon that I can defend myself with. Something that's built strong, that I can totally depend on. Because to me, this is a folding fixed blade. Nothing stronger than a triad lock. Triad lock, when this knife is fully open, I would never worry about the knife folding back on my hand. Because I know in order for that to happen, the knife has to be broken. It has to be like physically broken. The blade would snap, the handle would break or something like that, but the triad lock's not going to break. It's going to be some other part of the knife. This is probably one of the strongest folding knives ever. And I'm not talking about just a triad lock, I'm talking about the SR1 model. This model of cold steel knife is one of their strongest models that they've ever made. This one and the 4MAX, I think, are the two strongest models. This one, the 4MAX, and the Espadas. The ones with the 70-75 aluminum handles. Those are probably some really strong knives also. But if you want a strong cold steel, get one of these. Like Andrew Demko said, the thicker the blade stock is, the stronger that the lock will be. That's what he said about triad locks in the interview that he had with Slicey Dicey. He said the thicker the blade stock, the stronger the lock will be. And this is the one that they put up against the Clever Girl. And it just kept on going, remember? This is the one that they went up against the Clever Girl. This is a beautiful knife. It's absolutely beautifully made. And the tension on the lock spring feels just right too. It doesn't feel like it's too stiff or too weak. It feels like it's just right. Absolutely love it. It's a fidgeter too for a cold steel. Lots of cold steels, it's hard to do them like that. See what I'm saying? Not all of them are the super good fidgeters like that SR1 is. And as you guys know, I've had this one for years. I think about 2, going on 3 years, something like that. And I just now got this one. And I feel like this one feels more at home in my hand than the Frenzy. It's just the way that the blade and handle thickness is. But then again, you know, I used to carry one of these with the G10, and I've always carried Voyagers. To me, like the Voyagers and the SR1s, they're pretty, and the Recon ones, those three groups of cold steel knives are very similar in the way that they feel in your hand. I mean, it's like the balance and the weight and everything else. It's like, and those are some of the most popular cold steels too. The Recon ones, the Voyagers, and now the SR1s. And I like them all in Tonto blades. All three of them I like. Just about all of mine are Tontos. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful knife. Okay, I've probably gone on way too long. Okay, let me end this. I've probably gone on way too long. I really like that one. I really like it. You guys don't have to watch the whole video. I know I probably ranted on way too far. But I absolutely love that one. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. You guys get a chance to get one, I would say get one of these. They're only 59 bucks, so it's not going to break your wallet. So, you know, I would say go out and get one of these. They're worth $59 all day long. It's more like $100 and something knife. That's what it feels like. Doesn't feel like a 59. It feels like, you know, it feels like one of the G10 ones. And I'm sure it can do everything the G10 one can do. You know, maybe not hold the edge as long, but other than that, I don't see why it couldn't do everything that the other ones could do. I know the G10 is probably a little bit stronger than the Griv X, so. But this one feels strong. This knife feels like it's constructed very well. But anyway, that's it for that one. I know it's way too long, people. I hope you guys don't have to watch the whole video. I'm not gonna hold you to it. Peace out, Stiletto.